and you're in the Kenora area, what meteorologist Chris Scott was saying the other day when we were talking about tornado warnings, get inside and get low. Get as far inside your house as you can. If you have a closet, that is a safer place to be than somewhere exposed by windows. So again, if you're in the Kenora area, Grassy Narrows, there are tornado warnings in effect, and we're keeping a very close eye on the cell as it pushes through the area. Now, we have had this risk of thunderstorms across the prairies into northwestern Ontario. We've seen severe thunderstorm warnings popping in and out. If you don't have a tornado warning currently, other threats you could experience: hail, about ping-pong-sized ball hail, heavy amounts of rain, and of course frequent lightning has been something we've seen throughout the day across the prairie provinces. And this is on the heels of a really active week. Environment Canada confirmed 2 more tornadoes in southern Ontario this past week. Back on June 17th, on Tuesday, 2 more tornadoes. We've been talking a lot about the Angus one. Premier Kathleen Wynne was touring the area earlier today, and the Stroud area as well. An EF1 tornado has been confirmed. Let's show you what Angus has been looking like over the last several days. Obviously, cleanup will continue as people continue to rebuild and continue to clean up. I just wanted to show you the 7-day forecast for the Kenora area, just to give you an idea of what's to come over the next several days, because we have that risk of thunderstorms and obviously potentially life-threatening storms right now. But that risk is going to continue in northwestern Ontario over the next couple of days, and humidity is going to be on the rise as well. So we are going to be seeing the potential for more severe weather right through the weekend. Let's take you back to the radar. If you're just joining us, there are tornado warnings in effect for Kenora in northwestern Ontario. So you can see the line of thunderstorms that Environment Canada and our meteorologists here at the Weather Network are concerned about. As we zoom into a closer look at the radar, it's that cell now pushing north and east of Kenora at about 26 kilometers per hour. That is the cell of concern. So again, if you're just joining us, if you have family or friends in the area and it's late, if you have family or friends who you think are probably sleeping and don't know about this warning, you might want to give them a call if they have a house phone or a cell phone that they might keep by their bed, or send them a message. Do whatever you can if you know of people in around Kenora or Grassy Narrows, because this is a very serious warning, and because, as we mentioned earlier, it is nighttime, it's dark, and you can't see the weather approaching. Often we see stronger winds ahead of a tornado, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So there could be no warning. It happens very suddenly. Tell family, tell friends to get into a basement, get low, get away from walls, as far inside the house as you can possibly get. And just to recap, this has been a very busy week as far as tornadoes have been concerned. 2 more tornadoes confirmed in southern Ontario. Let's take you now to Barrie, and you can see some of the tree damage there. It's not always the tornado that you have to be concerned about. You could just see straight line winds, downbursts, microbursts. So winds in general can be extremely dangerous when you get into these kinds of storm systems or these kinds of storm cells. So Kenora currently under a tornado warning. As mentioned, get into a basement, alert family, alert friends that you know of in northwestern Ontario that this could be potentially serious and life-threatening kind of weather. And stay with us if you can. We'll keep you up to date as this storm cell continues to move north and east at about 26 kilometers per hour. Again, the big thing you can say, though, when you get tornado warnings at this time of night, it's pitch black outside. It's too dark to see any incoming weather. And sometimes you get the signal of strong winds ahead of a tornado, but you don't always. So it is better safe than sorry. Get into a basement, call family and friends in the region if in case they've already gone to bed and they may not know that there is a tornado warning in their community. The risk for thunderstorms will unfortunately continue right into the early morning hours on Saturday, not just in northwestern Ontario, but across southern Manitoba and southern Saskatchewan. It's the system pushing in. And so even Thunder Bay, you're likely going to see a shower, a thunder shower into Saturday morning. You clear out through the afternoon, and then again for Sunday morning, the risk for showers and thunder showers will be there. And for Manitoba on Saturday, some of these storms could get pretty strong during the day if for any reason other than it's going to be extremely humid. Southern Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and northern Ontario, there will be a lot of humidity, but Winnipeg in particular, you're likely going to feel like the low 30s for tomorrow afternoon. So when you get that heat and humidity, it adds fuel to the thunderstorms, if you will, and we could see a few severe cells popping up. We can show you what some active weather has been looking like in other parts of the globe. And again, this has been a really busy week in southern Ontario specifically. A lot of damage because of what has been happening in this last week. This is where, sorry, you said? This is the Kenora video we have. I was going to say, this is Angus that we're looking at right now. And this has been a huge story that we were following all week long. Back on Tuesday, there was an EF2 tornado that touched down in the community of Angus. I know Premier Wynne toured the Angus area earlier today, was taking a look at the damage, many homes damaged in the area. So it's just been a really busy week for tornadic activity across the province of Ontario, and a busy week in Alberta as well with flooding rains, and we'll be talking about that coming up throughout the show. But again, just taking a look at the radar here, you can see the cells approaching through northwestern Ontario. They are starting to weaken, as I mentioned. Environment Canada will likely end that tornado warning in the next several minutes, and we'll keep an eye on that. But let's take a look at some video. This is what I wanted to show you just south of Kenora. This is the video we were waiting for. This was sent in by one of our viewers not too long ago using our website, theweathernetwork.com. It's called Birdland, just to the south as Bergland, I should say. And that's some cloud formation in the distance. It almost appears to be a rainbow. So south of Kenora, you can see that there were some storms earlier in the day, and it is Kenora, Grassy Narrows, still under the tornado warning right now. Again, if you have family or friends in the area, you're watching this and you know that they're in Kenora, you may want to give them a call and let them know that the tornado warning has been issued. And if you're just joining us and you haven't seen that radar yet, it was a lot more intense about 10 minutes ago. The cell is really starting to weaken. It's moving at about 26 kilometers per hour to the northeast, and so we're still keeping a very close eye on it. But that tornado warning, as I mentioned, will likely get dropped in the next 10 minutes or so, and we'll keep you up to date on what's happening. And of course, all weekend long, keep it here on the Weather Network, because the risk for thunderstorms, potentially severe, will continue throughout the weekend into Saturday morning, and then again through Saturday afternoon when Winnipeg feels like the low 30s with humidity. The risk for thunderstorms will fire right back up again. So risk for thunderstorms across the southern prairies into northern Ontario, and then again we could see that as humidity is on the rise throughout the weekend. We'll have more details on that coming up. In the south, we're looking at some pretty fair conditions until about Tuesday when showers and thunderstorms could roll in, but we'll keep you up to date on the tornado warning next. And as I mentioned earlier, this risk for thunderstorms will continue right into Saturday morning. They shouldn't be as severe as tornado warnings, but again, medium-sized hail, heavy amounts of rain, thunder and lightning, that is certainly possible as we head through the overnight and into early tomorrow morning. And unfortunately, in the Kenora area, this is just the beginning of a very active weekend ahead. The risk for thunderstorms is there Saturday and Sunday, and even into Monday morning, some lingering rain showers, but you can see it in the humidity. It's going to be feeling close to 30 over the next couple of days, and this is on the heels of a really active week across southern Ontario. We'll show you what some of the damage was like in Angus. A lot of trees damaged, but a lot of homes damaged as well. This was back on Tuesday. Environment Canada has now confirmed not only that tornado, and they confirmed that fairly quickly, but a second tornado from that day's worth of active weather. And we'll show you that in just a moment. We'll take you to Barrie next, where there was a lot of tree damage as well. By the way, if you're just joining us and you heard about the tornado warning in Kenora, it has now come to an end. We're just recapping the very active week that it was across the entire province of Ontario. We've already seen 4 tornadoes already this season, and typically we start to get really busy July into August when temperatures and humidity go on the rise. Angus was the big one this week in EF2, and an EF1 has now been confirmed in the Stroud area as well. Let's take a look at what's happening over the next week ahead. We'll show you Thunder Bay, a highly populated community in northwestern Ontario. Look at these temperatures, a huge difference when you get all of that rain and cloud cover, not like we're seeing in Kenora with all of that humidity. And we can take a look at the radar again just to show you that these cells are starting to weaken. So if you were in the basement and you're just listening to us now, you can come back up again. The warnings, tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, they have all come to an end. And you take a look at the closer, the tighter radar here. That was the cell that Environment Canada was concerned about, and it really has weakened very quickly. So now it's just a rainmaker at this point in time. Not saying that we couldn't see a severe cell still popping up over the next few hours into Saturday morning, but for the most part, just a few isolated thunderstorms still to come. Now, for more details on the weekend ahead, I'm sure you want to know what Saturday and Sunday are going to be like in your community. There are some big weather stories to talk about from coast to coast. Those details are coming up in our next segment. The week, an EF2 tornado confirmed in the Angus community in southern Ontario. Environment Canada also confirmed a second tornado back on Tuesday. That brings us up to 4 in the province already this season. But Angus was obviously the big one, and back on Friday, Mark spent some time taking a look at some of the damage in the area. Thank you very much for that, Mark. You know, in northwestern Ontario, where we did have tornado warnings earlier on Friday, there's still the potential for showers and thunderstorms as we head into Saturday morning, drying out for the afternoon. But in the south, we have high pressure. It's going to be a really nice weekend ahead. Not the hottest weekend we've ever seen, but take Barrie, for example. We're looking at sunshine right through until Monday, and humidity will be on the rise. Saturday, a little bit more comfortable. By Monday, we're going to feel like the low 30s once again. Now, coming up in our next segment, central, even northern Ontario, and stretching east through Quebec and into New Brunswick. We were just taking a look at those Niagara Falls scenes. Let's take a look at water areas in southern and central Ontario, because it's the weekend and you may want to head up to your cottage, and the water is not so far off your seasonal averages, just a degree or two below normal for this time of year. But take a look at Lake Ontario, 12 to 15 degrees. That's roughly where we should be at this time of year in terms of temperatures for the water. Now, in northwestern Ontario and around Thunder Bay, maybe a stray shower or two for Saturday morning, and then again for Sunday we could see some showers and thunderstorms, but a whole lot of nothing across southern Ontario through southern Quebec, nothing in a good way. It's not going to be as muggy as we saw in our top 5 muggy places, but we are looking at humidity on the rise, especially Monday into Tuesday. By Tuesday, Niagara Falls could be feeling closer to about 36, and it's not going to be until Tuesday when we have the rain showers returning to southern Ontario. Windsor maybe Monday night into Tuesday morning, but for most of southern Ontario, we are dry and sunny until Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend and don't go anywhere. We will have